Let's talk about the world first. So we have to discuss very big things in the world, right? Because these are big things. We'll discuss that. And then we're going to try to understand what I talk about in the book so far. I got to Mindset 5. Mindset 5 gets very, it's not complicated. It's just very, very deep. I'm not sure yet if this is the form. We have to master the first four, which is, what is my purpose? What is my unique mission? What are my qualities that I have to do something in the world? How do I deal with challenges, and how do I read the divine messages I'm getting personally? So let's practice this. Let's put it into practice. I want to start with something my son-in-law said to me. My son-in-law said to me yesterday, he said, although he voted for Trump, he was very hopeful Kamala Harris would win. And I want to share that with you because it's so deep and brilliant, and not necessarily right, but it's a very important point. He's saying, I want to explain what he means about what he says that. Why is he saying that? Why would he say, I voted for Donald Trump, but I was hoping Kamala Harris would? Why would a person say such a thing? Do I have any ideas? Tar.
Because then it's going to force Israel to stand on their own.
And let me explain what that means, because even that, what you're saying, very, very good, very well. You're saying that very, very beautifully. But then people can mistake the political component of that. Standing on their own means that they realize, as the famous song that all Jews sing, Ein lanu al mi l'Hashem, we have nobody to rely on but Hashem. So his thinking was, I got to vote for Donald Trump because it's obviously the right thing to do. That's what you should want. But he said, I don't want anyone, including myself, he's saying about himself, to therefore feel, things are good now because we got Trump in office. And this is what I told you before last. It was the same thing I told you from a different angle. I told you God is going to get us there either way. The reason why it was so important to vote for Trump was because it's a statement of, I'm taking the action and I'm doing what has to be done in the world. But you got to understand something. That's the place where we start to say, as the verse says in Deuteronomy, in Devarim, it says, a person starts to say, you know how come it's so good? Because I did it. I want to ask you a question. We don't have any farmers here. Are there any farmers by any chance? The good old farmers. They're trying to get rid of them out of America, but hopefully RFK is going to allow you to be farm again. So, yeah, that's right. So the farming's got a big problem. This is why there's so many laws about like tithing and various things on the produce. Because when I go and take a seed and I put it into the ground and I water it, I make sure it gets enough sun, I protect it, this and that, and I take care of it and I garden, I pay my garden. At the end, you ever speak to someone who has a garden? They are so proud of their garden. Did you see my tomatoes? I made the best tomatoes in the world. But you didn't make the tomatoes. God made the tomatoes. Oh, okay, so I should have stayed home and done nothing. No, I can't do that either. And that's the reality of life. Life has the component of God commands us to do something. You got to stand up for what's right. But the problem is that the danger is that you start saying, oh, I did it. Or in our case, yeah, you know why things are good? It's like I told you before, the fact that America helped shoot down the planes, whatever they did on the attack, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Yes. And President Biden was quick to take the credit for it. Okay. You gotta make your effort. Gotta make your effort. But that's not what's doing it. This is a very, very deep, deep concept. It's so deep. It runs through all of reality. So my son-in-law, he voted for Trump because that's what he had to do. But he was kind of hoping that Kamala would win because then when it's so bad, because she was and she is anti-God, anti the Jewish people. That's clear. All the double talk you could want to do, you could do, but that's the reality. Now, thank God. But and I want to tell you another thing about this. And Tara, you're going to like this. This is for you. So this is the problem when the Jews came back in the time of the Second Temple. The problem was that they came back under the auspices of the Persians. King Cyrus has given a decree that you can go build a temple. That meant that we were not getting it on the level as the first temple, what we really wanted, but everyone knew God brought us into the land. Joshua miraculously conquered the land, and we had the land, and we were in the land. And we had King Shaul, and King David, and then King Solomon, the pinnacle, the son of David, the sign of Mashiach, of Messiah. He built a temple. Second temple, I need the Persians to send me back. So that is, and that's why some people, my brother said a very similar thing, obviously. I mean, similar in the sense that, not in the sense of wanting Kamala to win, but just in the sense of being very careful that you don't give the honor where it's not due. Now, we do want to say, President Trump, chazak ve'amatz, stand up and do what is right. Because God is putting you at a crossroads. Cyrus was at a crossroads. And then he kind of didn't succeed so well, even though he sent him to build a temple. But he said, whoever wants to go build a temple, build a temple. And God said, Cyrus, you were supposed to initiate it. You could have been part of this mission. And you said, whoever wants to go do it, go do it. All right. And that's when he started to sour. So anyway, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is great, great news. Great, great news. Not that it makes a difference, but it does make a difference. It makes a difference because it's the statement of people doing their part in the right way. Okay? What's happened, I don't know if you've seen any of these unfortunate videos of people flipping out. And okay, I admit, they're kind of funny in some way, but it's very sad funny. It's kind of like, like watching, these people send me videos of these people have these accidents and the guy falls and smacks into a tree and like people laugh. It's like kind of like that. But these people are going bananas. Why are they going bananas? Because like this, let me explain to you what happened. What happened was 4 years ago, a little more than that, 5 years ago, whatever, this process of the new modern political world, which was started with President Obama, came into the process, which the process was up is down, down is up. Men are women, women are men. Black is white, white is black. Ugly is beautiful, beautiful is ugly. We will decide what is reality. Now, not only are we going to decide the reality for us, we're going to decide it for you. Because you need to agree. If you mispronoun me, you're a Nazi! Sent by the Nazis! It's unbelievable! But that's what they did. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. The world's upside down, right side up. And so these people are freaking out, and for good reason. Not that their lives are going to change one drop. It won't. Only thing will change will be better. Because if you want to get a job, you can get a job and make some money. You'll be able to, there'll be more blessing in the world. But their life won't change one iota, but it will change dramatically in one sense, in the sense that we're no longer agreeing to my delusional reality. And that's why it's sad. Because somebody has this gender dysphoria and they think up is down and down is up, and we all have agreed that we believe this. And if you don't, you can't say it. So we've all signed up to be part of a mental institution. And that created more dynamic. And now what happens is that the fact that a majority of Americans, and unfortunately, even though it's a resounding victory, it's a landslide, he won the popular vote. Still 40% of the people, 45% of the people say, I live in an upside down world. That's a problem. So anyway, but that means that these people right now are freaking out because my gender dysphoria or my life dysphoria of my up is down, down is up dysphoria, and the belief that I dictate a woke reality that has nothing to do with reality, but we all must agree that that's the truth, is no longer accepted. And I got to live with my own opinions. Oh, gosh. This is great news. This is great news. It's great news. Now I get to the component of what I said before about my book and the steps. What should you do? And what should you not do? The first thing you should not do is gloat. That is the first thing you should not do, is gloat. Because then you're back in the same dynamic.
Exactly.
You're back in the same game. Yes, the Republicans, the Democrats. It's not the Republicans, not the Democrats. There's a Torah, there's truth in the world. Okay, these guys are closer to it. Great. Vote for them. Wonderful. But don't make it a dichotomy what these guys are trying to lock you into. So what can you do now? Well, once some of the insanity is pulled back, you may be able to talk to people. Because when everyone says the world's upside down, you start to believe it. Now people say the world's not upside down, you got to say, no, I think it is. And you're wrong. Don't get into that dance. Don't get into that. Because if you get into that, then you lost the game. Because now they just pulled you into the dance of left and right, right is left, up is down, down is up. They don't come from that place. You might not be able to convince anybody. And I'll tell you why. Because there are some people who really are in the camp of Amalek. They're in the letters of Kamala, flipped around as Rabbi Mendel Kessin pointed out. Yeah, you may be in that dance. That guy may be in it, and you therefore, what are you going to convince them? Of truth? He's fighting truth. And some people you may be able to convince. And that's very good. Then you'll be doing a mitzvah in the world. You'll be making the world a better place. That's what you're going to be doing. You get one person, start seeing the world in one step better. You can't control where they're going to go. You don't got to preach to them to become Noahides. You have to preach to them there's goodness in the world. Like Abraham told everybody. And there's truth, and there's goodness. And I hope you find it. And I'm here to help you find it if you want. And if you don't, Here's an idea. Think about it. Because you don't know. You don't know who this person is. Maybe you can't convince them. But the problem is, when you feel you need to be the one to convince them, you fell into the same problems we talked about. I make the difference. I make the difference. I plant the seed. I plant the seed. God makes the tree grow. I do my effort. Now, I want to come back to Tar, because Tar did the first statement that he had. We said, what was the purpose? And Tar combined 1 and 2, purpose and unique mission, to say, I have an ability to relate to certain people who are ignored, and I see them, and they hear I see them. Now, that could be, I'm not telling you what exactly it is. This is when a person hones in on what they want to accomplish. So now I look at the world. The world was in great darkness. There's a potential now to pull out of the darkness. And I want to be a conduit to help people pull out of the darkness. What a mission. What a purpose. It's unbelievable. Now, everyone has it. The first step is you got to understand life is purposeful. The world's one for purpose. If Kamala Harris would have won, it would have gone in the way of the great challenge. On one side, been better, because we would have said, you can't rely on America. They are not your friends. You can't rely on this. You can't rely on the army. You rely on Hashem. And then all the false, the ones taking credit, the false people who are taking the credit for what they do, they fall off. But it runs counter to the smooth way and the way of the world participating. You would have been in the minority. You listening to my class would have been living amongst people who said the world's upside down. And that wouldn't have been pleasant. Because we want as many people as possible to be in the world of goodness. That's what we want. That's what Shem wants. Shem loves all his creation, Jews, non-Jews, all his creations. And he wants everyone to come into the world of seeing the truth. But what are you doing? Someone's got their head upside down, right side up. Do you play along with their game and tell them, yes, what you're saying is true? Yes, Rachel, wine, whatever your name is, you need help. I'm not looking to be angry at you. I'm not looking at you. Need prayer. You need great, great help. And that's really what happens in next week's Torah portion. When Abraham prays for Stum, he's praying for bad people. And he's saying, what? Why bring bad people? And Abraham knows that God's going to do what's right. Because if his prayer is going to help the bad people to stay bad, that would be a terrible tragedy. That wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to find this goodness in these people, bring it out. And God said, yeah. You won't see it in these people, but your prayer went someplace. You wanted to bring out good, maybe not in this person, but I have a way you're going to bring it out. That's the first steps we got to get in a mission statement. What am I doing in this world? God gave us a tremendous kindness. Now we don't have to get there now from the more difficult path, but we can't be fooled by all of the illusions along the way. Donald Trump's got to pray to be a messenger like Koresh could have been, like Cyrus could have been. Don't take the credit. You'll fall into the Cyrus trap. It's a very, very difficult one. Hashem should bless him to have understanding, and I think it's going to be quite fascinating. I would say the greatest thing is if Trump could actually make peace with Russia and Ukraine before he gets into office, it will be amazing. Why will it be amazing? Don't think because it means Trump's so great, even if he brags about it. Because what it'd be so great is it could show you that the whole war was a complete lie. The emperor's not wearing any clothing. He's not. I'm not going to call you Rachel, whatever. I'm not going to call you a woman. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself. And I feel bad. I'm not. You need help. You don't feel you need help? Okay, this is America. Do what you want to do. But the country is not going in that direction. Straight is straight. Truth is truth. And we're one step in that right direction right now. All right, I'm going to open up to questions, ideas, and comments. Let's make it a little discussion. What you guys have to say.